And I still don't understand why the FDA won't approve stem cell, for example, why, everyone's got to go to South America to get the shots and supposedly work quite well. So
Yeah.
I don't, and I have yet to get a good answer from anyone that knows stem cells. And I'm sure you do too, people who've gone to Panama or Colombia and gotten,
or even Mexico.
cell.
I have a huge contingent, huge contingent of friends that have gone down to Tijuana to Chipsa, and they're getting life-altering results, and they have to cross over into Tijuana. They're literally doing it. I mean, I don't know if the topography would support it in being an eyesight of the border, but as the crow flies, it's a couple of miles south of the border. But they have to do that, and I've seen everything from nerve regeneration to disc regeneration to chronic pain. It's insane, and it's a full protocol down there, and they can't get it in the U.S. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
And I've talked to people who, when you try and find out why, will immediately say, well, there's a lot of people that don't want that to work because they're not going to, drug companies, surgeons, there's a list of lobbyists of a good reason to not want a stem cell shot to work because of money. I can't prove any of that, but I do know many people, from Joe Rogan to Frank and Lorenzo from the UFC, to Mel Gibson, who took his dad down to Panama, I believe, like, really swear by it.
Yeah. My business partner went down to Mexico twice and did the one where it's not targeted in a joint, but just a general IV delivery. He was born with a genetic abnormality in his heart. Right. And the doctors, when he came back to get checked twice, they cannot explain why. I think it's the ejection fractionate was the one that had the main improvement. They can't explain why, but the guy's heart is performing better because of those treatments, but it's illegal in the United States. And I'm not saying
FDA won't approve it. And I don't know why. I don't trust them at all. And after my experience making Painkiller, I have no reason to trust them and believe that, I believe that the great majority of their decisions are influenced by lobbyists who are working for parties that have interest in making a lot of money based upon drugs.
One of the things in watching the series, again, that I didn't realize, and I actually found it to be the most disturbing, was the strategy they take with drug reps. And I mean, I don't know where the legal boundary is. I would say they've become experts at flirting in the gray area. But could you unpack a little bit the strategy that specifically Purdue Pharma took with doctors and the millions of dollars of bonuses that they paid out to their drug reps?
It was go to college campuses, find good-looking young graduates, male and female, train them up briefly, send them out into the country to doctors that didn't really have the information, didn't understand what the drug was, and by any means necessary, get these doctors to prescribe. And once they got them to prescribe, the drug reps were all based upon milligrams sold. So they would be motivated to get them to increase the dosage. Okay, Andy's doing pretty well on 20 milligrams. Let's get him up to 40 milligrams, or he's going to be doing real well, because 40 milligrams of OxyContin, you're not going to feel anything, right? Take a hammer to your hand repeatedly, and you're cool, man. Everything's good. So these reps were making more and more money based upon how many milligrams of morphine they were getting into people's bodies, which is really sick, right? I mean, it's twisted. And it was like kind of culty, they would have these retreats in Miami and, cheesy kind of beachy retreats where all the drug reps and the pharmacists and the doctors would be invited. Everybody would just get wasted and party and, play with these things. Remember this?
Oh, there it is. The old Oxy.
The old OxyContin plushie.
Fuck.
But, I keep him close.
It's way easier to face your fears when it's for a good reason.
Every day's a gift. I mean, honestly.
To our fallen brothers.
You want to pull down here? You have to have a short memory when you do good and a short memory when you do bad, because tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah, your military's great, but to turn out to be a good person, that impresses me more.
And when you do, make that correction.
This hand's pulling and this hand's like punching.
Like all I wanted as like a kid was just like a lock on my bedroom door.
Every single nick on this thing, every single chip, like right there, is a story.
There's 1,000 years of development in that ass.
He goes, you got a huge hole in your back. And I'm like, well, put something in it.
It just teaches you so much about life, the way that fighting kind of does.
That's what he calls for. That's what he calls for.
Our generation has to be the ones that step up and say, hey, look, I'm going to be a person that gives.
It's all about like fighting for freedom.
When you go through that door, it's a fight.
Let's do it. I'm gonna need a week to decide if I ever do that again.
I've not seen anything like this before.
It's just way better to be in the flow.
And I got out because we weren't at war. We're at war. I'm going back.